Malden looking for the upset in Everett Tuesday, but the Crimson Tide was more than up for the challenge in this D1 North playoff game. Everett got things going on the opening tip as the ball goes to point guard Ernie Chapman, who pulls up and hits the jumper. But bad luck as he comes down awkwardly on his ankle. His teammates would carry him off the court, and his status long-term is unknown at this point. Like with anything else, we'll know more tomorrow, folks. Everett's defense set the tone early, and here Lubin Figaro keeps a loose ball alive, and Timmons McKinney finishes at the rim. It wouldn't be the last we'd hear from that young man tonight. Now Figaro pushing the pace, and a nifty pass to McKinney, who draws contact and puts in the layup. He'd missed the free throw, but the Tide is just getting rolling here in the first. Final play of the first frame, and McKinney can't get the floater to go, but Rodwell Blanc comes up with the rebound and puts it back in the buzzer to put Everett up 10 at the end of the first quarter. Now in the second, Figaro finds McKinney for a three to put Everett up 15 as a part of a 22-1 Crimson Tide run. Everett held Malden to just 5 points in a quarter and a half of basketball. But more bad news for Everett as freshman guard Jordan McAfee goes down with a knee injury off the ball. As with Chapman, we'll know more tomorrow, but it's always scary when a player can't put weight on an injured leg. Tide still running in the second as McKinney rushes it up court and finds Trevon Ford in the corner for an open three. Everett pulling away, leading 41-15. Frustration setting in for Malden as junior Anthony Gallardi elbows Blanc in the ribs while setting a screen. Take a look at it again, just no place for a play like that, and Blanc clearly upset with the no call. Tensions beginning to build in the second half of this blowout. But McKinney, just doing what he do, knocks down the three, and he'll hang the follow-through for you. Thank you very much. That's 3 of his game-high 25 to put Everett up 30 in the third. Then a jump ball turns into some pushing and shoving. And the Everett crowd comes alive. Emotions are turning up here. Moments later, McKinney gets the rip and takes it the other end for an and one. He says, yeah, that's all me, guys. Everett led by as many as 40 on their way to an 80-43 win. Did you get the feeling these guys felt a little disrespected?
I feel like we weren't getting credit. No one was giving us credit. I think we were one of the best teams in the state. I think we were one of the best teams in the state, and I feel like no one gave us credit. We put a chip on that shoulder and we came out and played.
All right, and now I'm here with ESPN Boston high school sports editor Brendan Hall. And Brendan, I don't want to rub any salt in the wound here. This was your upset pick. You picked against Everett. And they seem to play pretty hard because of it, especially on the defensive end. I think they had more turnovers forced than Malden had points in the first quarter and a half. What did you see from them?
I don't know if you heard from like the 1,000 people that were here in attendance bugging you on the way in, but apparently that motivated them or something. I don't know.
A little bit.
A little bit, I guess. But hey, you know, click, 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 right? So, no, that's honestly the best I've seen Everett press in almost a month. They really came out of the gates. Obviously, a big rivalry game. You know, plays a lot into it. But come on, 25-5 lead going midway through the second quarter. The trap was efficient. I don't know what they cleaned up because they were on a slide late in the season. You know, going down to Lynn English and Andover. But you know, they cleaned up a lot of things, and I think that was a good swift kick they needed at the end of the regular season. They get a little bit complacent. They were number 3 in our state poll. It took a little bit of a dip. Now we see them running again. Timmons McKinney, tremendous game from him on both ends of the floor. He's a bull sometimes, you know, coming down the lane. He's a physical player. Him and Gary Clark, the combination out there, it's going to be trouble for a lot of teams, I think, in the North.
Yeah, most definitely, and there's a lot of implications in the North. We'll talk about Andover a little bit later, but I want to talk about, they didn't come out of this totally unscathed. Right. Sophomore point guard Ernie Chapman goes down, I believe, with an ankle or something on his leg. Yeah. First play of the game, right after the tip-off, he nails a jumper and goes down. Yeah. Can Everett survive with him without him long term?
Me personally, I'm not sure, because you have such a smooth, such a clean distributor like that. He facilitates a lot of offense. When the offense got stagnant, you know, Chapman was playing hurt, and he's been playing hurt for much of the season. And to lose him for any extended period of time, I think has to be a concern for Everett. They have to figure out a way to generate offense. Like a lot of pressing teams, they get a fair share of points off, you know, turnovers and fast breaks. But when the game gets called to the half court, that's where Chapman has typically excelled. He's a really good, fundamentally sound point guard. They're going to have to hope for the best for him, but you saw him getting carried off the court after the game. That can't be a good sign. But hope for the best for him because they're going to need him.
Yeah, exactly. This was a game you picked an upset in. We didn't quite get an upset. I think they led by 40 at one point.
I think so.
Slightly closer to an upset over with Andover and Billerica. Andover somehow pulls it out at the very end. Are they suddenly vulnerable? And what does D1 North kind of look right now? It looks a little jumbled, doesn't it?
I don't know. I've said this all year with Andover. Dave Garibaldi is one of those players. It's like watching Russell Westbrook on the Oklahoma City Thunder there. Westbrook, he takes a ton of bad decisions, doesn't he? But he also does a ton of really good things out there. Same thing with Garibaldi. Sometimes the way he plays will scare you a little bit. But in the end, he's going to do something miraculous like what he did tonight. Down one, he hits that two-pointer, and then they get a free throw, and then they make a defensive stop, and they come away. They were down 10 with 3 minutes to go. Okay, but the other thing they're going to have to learn here, if you saw the Twitter sphere tonight, it looked like Bill Ricca had a pretty heavy contingent there in Andover's home gym. Clearly, I think the Golden Warriors thought they were going to walk into this one and they were going to basically, Bill Ricca's going to lay over. Guys, it's the playoff time. Anything can happen. There's going to be a lot of upsets. You can't just walk into an arena and just expect the other team to roll over for you. It's just not going to happen this time of year. This is a good wake-up call for Andover. They had a lot of expectations. Number 5 in our latest state poll. I think they got a little bit looking ahead to the next round, and this is a lesson they learned. So hopefully they learn their lesson. Obviously, Coach Dave Fazio will have them coach up for the next game.
You certainly can't look ahead this time of year. It's Mass Madness. We'll be back here Friday. Well, I don't know if we'll be back here, but Everett's going to be back in action Friday against Somerville. I'm Joe Perello. He's Brendan Hall. Thanks for joining us, everyone.